Hi. Okay. Well, first of all, I have to say that this is now my second attempt. I have tried to do this already, and Facebook wouldn't upload my video. And ironically, that was the first thing I wanted to say as far as the Pam Gregory and Davyd Farrells video was concerned. They also had tried it the day before and had storms going on in the background so bad that they had to break off and recorded another day. And that's why that was my first topic, because it was either on the 28th or it was the day before the 28th of February or something about that time. And the Aurora Borealis Northern Light pictures that people were posting from various different places in the world was about the same time. So I wasn't too sure if this, because Pam kind of thinks this is electromagnetic instability, which was this storms. And the thing is that she's in England and he's somewhere, Mexico, South America somewhere. So I wasn't too sure where these storms were actually taking place because I didn't see any storms here. But like I say, it was about the time where this Aurora Borealis was taking place. So this is also my second attempt, and hopefully I'll be able to post this one. Yeah, so the next thing was, which I found interesting, is at about timestamp 5 minutes into the video, where he is talking about Pluto. Pluto's cycle is about 248 years roughly, his orbit, and he is back in a position where Pam did a video last year about that, after about 1776, 77, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, was the last time that Pluto was in this area, which seemed to be kind of over America or something. And then he mentions Orcus, somebody like this, who is a punishing god, and that he, when he comes around, he punishes, and it has to do with repenting and stuff like this. And then he goes into a god, Nettle, and this is the thing I like about this guy. He's into plants, and Pam is into planets, and so he always brings it back to kind of like plants, and she discusses the planets and skies. So there's a god Nettle, and he goes into that. I think I should put my glasses on. Oh, about breaking curses and hexes and stuff like that. But yeah, and he'll bring up the plant Nettle, but there's a god Nettle later on as well. So I've written here, if you want to keep watching, that's fine, between kind of like 6:50 and 8:20 timestamp. And then she starts up about Pluto again, and how he is just moving into Aquarius just now, and of course it's past now because I did this, and now it's my second attempt. Would have been going into Aquarius around about the 23rd of March. Punishes, and it has to do with repenting and stuff like this. And then he goes into a god nettle, and this is the thing I like about this guy. He's into plants, and Pam is into planets, and so he always brings it back to kind of like plants, and she discusses the planets and skies. So there's a god nettle, and he goes into that. I think I should put my glasses on. Oh, about breaking curses and hexes and stuff like that. But yeah, and he'll bring up the plant nettle, but there's a god nettle later on as well. So I've written here, if you want to keep watching, that's fine, between kind of like 6:50 and 8:20 timestamp. And then she starts up about Pluto again, and how he is just moving into Aquarius just now, and of course it's past now because I did this, and now it's my second attempt. Would have been going into Aquarius around about the 23rd of March, and stays till about, well, he stays about 20 years in every planet. Oh, for fuck's sakes, I wanted to do this without any mistakes. Scheiße. Yeah, so at about timestamp 9, she starts talking about Pluto moving into Aquarius. Now this is coming up a bit late, so it's already happened. And Pluto spends about 20 years in every star sign, which brings you around to this 248 years. And so should be moving in to Aquarius and staying there until about 2044. So this is when she kind of gets herself confused and says 2044 instead of 2024. But that's not the point. What I wanted to say was that there is the true sidereal, which is spelled like sidereal, true sidereal, and they speak about the where the planets are in the skies in today, like with the naked eye, if it's possible, or with a telescope, where you're going to see sun, moon, and everything, traveling through the specific star signs with the naked eye. They are talking about what they call tropical astrology, which means about the time when this was all discovered, about more than 2,000 years ago. And so it's not really the positions that they are really in. Well, as far as sidereal is concerned, if you was to look into the skies with a telescope. So when they say moving into Aquarius or later, there's things about different planets being in Scorpio or whatever. Well, I'm not so sure. I think that is maybe why people say I don't really feel like I'm a whatever star sign, because at the time of your birth it wasn't anymore. But the mainstream astrology still believe in the tropical positions as far as the star signs are concerned. So that was that, and she mentioned Sedna. Sedna takes 11,400 years to orbit, and she tells a wee myth about Sedna, because I think she's in Aquarius as well or something, at the same point as Pluto is. So that goes on, and I think at about 16:10 in the time stamp is where it gets interesting as far as talking about micro and macro decisions. Micro and macro decisions is like when you let's say I set my alarm for whatever time and decide to lie a bit longer and lie another 5 minutes. So I'm kind of running late now, and I get all my things done, my coffee and everything, and run out of the house and get run down by a bus. So I'm dead. Now if I'd gotten up at the time where the alarm went off and got all my stuff done, had my coffee and got ready and went out of the house at the time I should have, would I have gotten run down by a bus? So now this bus driver is going to have some kind of traumatic thingy because he just killed somebody, and he will lose his job, and his life will go to hell because he will be traumatized the rest of his life. And if I'd gotten out of the house at the right time and he never killed me, his timeline would then be different. So your micro decisions, as that means we whether we realize it or not, we can alter other people's timelines. So the micro decisions we make affect the macro, and then she gets into the fractal thing, and that's why is that important now? Yeah, because that's between 16:10 and about 18. Yeah, she discusses the fractal, and the fractal is like when we went to school we learned about the whole, and then there's all the fractions. So an eighth and a 16th and a whatever. So when you break up the whole, it becomes the fractal. So that's kind of interesting, I thought. And at about time from 18, she starts discussing these planets and gets into myths and stuff, and this new Earth and this Manwe and Hauna or something are female planets of the goddesses, and also represent planets. And so then at about 2030, I've got here now, is when Hamway, I think, Hamway's husband picks bananas and eats from these bananas, and she tells the whole story about that, and he gets in trouble, and blah blah blah, and it sounds very similar to another garden and eating fruit, which gets into the elite and who is to say what is right and what is wrong. When then they get into this, Hamway comes back again, and they're in Scorpio, and I don't feel like I'm doing this very well because I don't have it fresh in my head from the actual video. I'm just reading my notes, but Hamway or whatever her name is again, it has something to do with the energy of Scorpio, and she is in Scorpio for 25 years. I would think she's just moving in now as well, but that is at the South Node, and this is when it kind of gets interesting again as far as the nodes are concerned. Right, I want to explain what the nodes are for people who don't know. The South Node and the North Node. move as well, because this is only going to be up until July. But the South Node is like things falling away, something that doesn't serve you anymore, something that needs to be gotten rid of or changed. And the North Node, when the planets are around about the North Node, this is a things starting, beginnings, new beginnings, things starting. So I see it like the clock, like when you go past the hour, this is the past, it's passing, it's falling away, and then so the North Node is like going toward, you're going toward something. So there's like, that's what the whole idea here is with these Hamway and the other one, who has to do with the rebirth, and that the Earth is going through a falling away of things that do not serve us, and that's something new beginnings. That was explaining that, but I'm really not too sure what Scorpio had to do with it anymore. Well, was it because Hamway is this one who births babies from all over the place or something, which she was talking about with the guy who stole the bananas. And she's in Scorpio for 20 to 25 years, but the North Node is only up until July. So anyway, this is happening all at about the 24:50 timestamp, if that's something that you would like to listen to. Now Venus is in Taurus. They decide to tell us Venus is in Taurus, and Venus is in Taurus is an earth sign, and Venus is the planet of love and stuff like this. So this is all good. Exactly what that was to do with, I'm not too sure either. But Mars is in the sign of Aries, and again getting back to the sidereal and stuff like that. I'm just going to leave that just now. Because Mars is the ruler of Aries, and Mars is the war. Mars is fiery, and Aries is a fire sign, if I'm not mistaken. Fiery, wanting to go to war, wanting to fight, and yes, and he is the ruler of Aries, so the fiery energy. This is at about 30 minutes into the video. Now here's where the guy gets back into Nettle. He starts talking about Nettle, and he's the warrior god, and he's also the fire sign. So this is something I do understand, is as far as the elements and stuff is concerned, every element is got some kind of plant or something, excuse me, that represents fire, and other things are like paprikas or pepperonis or something, some kind of like spicy foods and stuff, and the nettle, because the nettle stings and burns and stuff like that. That's why nettle, the plant nettle, and this god nettle is involved, or represents the fire sign. Mars. Pluto governs governments and big organizations and stuff. This is why it had to do with signing of the Declaration of Independence last time around 248 years ago, and now at the moment it's back in that position, and that has to do with governmental things, the big picture. Mars is more for the individual, the fiery energy, of Mars. yeah, and now we're at, as far as the time stamp is concerned, about 32:20, where she does speak about giving the power to the people. So this is what it's all about, a shift in falling away of governmental aspects that maybe haven't served us, and seeing more people taking on more initiative, taking on their own initiative, as in giving the power back to the people. Between timestamp 32 till, still going on about this, at 34:30, and she points out that this is not going to happen overnight. This will not happen overnight because of Pluto, needing 20 years in one specific star sign, and so there will be a slow transformation of this whole exchanging of power, I could say. So she comes back to talking about the fractal again at about timestamp 35. Talking about the fractal again, because of this, the collective is together as a whole, and the fractal is the ego, and it's all about me. It's all about me, and the collective is knowing it's all about we. So she talks about the fractal again, and coming back to the Aries equinox, which is past now, but at the time I wanted to do this, it was still in the future, has to do with this awakening, and that Pluto has to do with things that are hidden, secrets, again getting back into the governmental things, keeping secrets from us and stuff. And for some reason Uranus comes into the picture. Uranus is about the truth and the awakening, and that's that is again with this awakening and stuff. I don't know where Uranus came from now, but that then she gets into Neptune. So between timestamp 38 and 48, so about 10 minutes, they go on about Neptune and water. So if that's of no interest to you, you can just skip that. Neptune governs Pisces. So they go on about Pisces, Neptune, water, and that for about 10 minutes. All kinds of water, like floods and thingies, weather type thingies, but also drinking water and stuff like that, about being healthy and good for you and stuff like that. Okay. Right, so after 48, about 48:15, it's again this that Pam talks about planets and stuff, and Saturn trying to this Haumia person, and talks about Manwë again, and Manwë, who is all to do with rebirth. The Earth is going through a rebirth, and new beginnings, and all this, and yeah. So yeah, and then that this has nothing to do with a new Earth. You get into the Bible with a new Earth, a new heavens, and something else new. But it's a rebirth, or new beginnings, and the new Earth is not a place; it is a frequency. And this is when she gets into, or do I get into that? Maybe I put that in there. Nikola Tesla, and he spoke about frequency, vibration, and energy. It is all about raising your own frequencies, energies, and vibrations. So I think I just put that in there about Nikola Tesla. So just about at the end here, after 56, he starts to promote his webpage and what he's about down there in Mexico, and it's kind of interesting because at the end he starts to talk about yin and yang, and again back to the plants, the daffodil, and something else I didn't even know what the hell it was. The daffodil being the fiery sun energy as well. Daffodil. Nee, that'd be silly, it was a dandelion. It was a dandelion. The red and fiery and whatever the other thing was a feminine energy, yang. Yeah, just what plants, I'm sure. Daffodils. Dandelions, not daffodils. Anyway, the thing was that just about time stamp 1 hour into it, he decides to say that he also understands the Mayan calendar, and where he is in his web page and stuff, they do that kind of thing as well, which I found was for me very interesting, because I live also the Mayan calendar now for more than 3 years, and yeah, that would be a topic for another day. So I just wanted to say a couple of things to as far as that was concerned, because it was jam-packed with interesting information, and now I hope that this actually loads, and otherwise I've wasted my time again. If this was of any interest to you, or if you would like me to do more videos with my own personal ideas on the subjects that I am about, then you could leave a comment, and I think that's it for today.